today. I don't know if y'all can kind of see it, but I'm up here celebrating in the San Francisco area. I'm out in San Francisco today in the Bay, down in the California. Yay, I like Cali. So anyway, I wanted to have our Sunday discussion about this important topic. This one is going to be beyond important, to be honest with you guys. As a matter of fact, let me sit this thing down so I can actually have a uncle conversation with y'all. Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. Because y'all really need a talking to for on this one. Okay, all right. So hopefully y'all can see me. Again, if you're in San Francisco, living in the San Francisco area, you guys are beautiful down here. So let me get to talking to y'all. All right. And hopefully if you guys can hear me, I hope you can hear me okay, because I'm outside. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. This is about as tall as this thing to go. All right, let me talk. Just let me talk to y'all, okay? And this is serious. This is serious business about your trading. There's going to be 3 different areas we're going to talk about today as far as your trading and how your mind is in. When your mind is under an attack, it's going to affect your trades. I guarantee it. Some of you guys, this is where your struggle is. You think, oh my God, it's cold up here in San Francisco. Boy, I got to get out of here to a warmer climate. But I'm just down here for family. But anyway, let me get focused. Some of you guys, where your trouble is that you're completely unfocused. It's hard for you to focus on just being a solid trader because you got so much stuff going on in your mind. And so you're a distracted trader. Okay, please write notes. Please write notes. I know what I'm talking about because it happened to me. You are a distracted trader. And when you're a distracted trader, it's hard for you to be a successful trader. So please make sure you write that down. A distracted trader is also a frustrated trader. Okay? And a frustrated trader is an unsuccessful trader. It's hard for you to be successful. So let's break down some of the areas why our minds sometimes come under attack. Because let me say this as a preference. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. It is impossible for you to be a successful trader if you're not using your mind. Because basically, when you're trading, it's nothing more than you, your computer, your laptop, your phone, your desktop, whatever device you're using, your iPad, whatever, okay? It is nothing more than you looking at some squiggly little, what they call candlesticks, but it look like little wiggly lines going up and down and wiggly and all over the place. And your job is to interpret that and say, yes, I want to get in because I think it's going to go up, or yes, I want to get in because I think it's going to go down. So that alone can make it a little bit tough to be able to interpret what you're seeing. But then you add in the fact that you're struggling in your personal life because you got so much going on, it is almost impossible for you to make a sound, listen to what I said, a sound decision on what you're actually doing because you got all these other noises in your head. This is why most professional traders, including us here at Super Easy Forex, for those who's not a part of it and the thousands going to watch this later on. The reason why we build trading systems the way we do is because we're trying to eliminate as much of human input as possible. Now, you can't do all of that, but you can do most of that because the less input that you get from a human who's already going through stressful situations, the better off that trader is going to be. They call it in the trading world, mechanical trading system. Write these terms down. You can research them for yourself, and you'll see that this is what professional traders do. They have the ability to separate their personal self and what's on their mind from what they need to do the moment they hit the charts. The average retail trader does not have that skill set. That's why you're still an average retail trader. Every little thing bothers you. Everything. And you take it out on what I call the field. You get what I'm saying? I told you guys, my friend Torrey Hunter, the baseball player, what happened with him, he said the difference between a professional baseball player and an average lower, what they call that? I'm not into baseball, but you know, y'all get what I'm saying. The amateur baseball player. He said it's really not the skill set. It's the ability to separate what's going on in your personal life when you hit the field so you can be 100% focused. The average retail trader cannot focus. They're already struggling with the fact that they need to start trading like the big boys, which means using a bigger stop loss, trading from higher time frames. You're already struggling within yourself because of that. But then you add in that you may be dealing with depression. You may be going through a bad relationship situation. Your job may be on the line. You scared. Some people, watch this, and I'm not for or against, so don't throw me under the bus, but here's the deal. Some people are struggling right now because their job says if you don't get the vaccine, we're going to fire you. So now what they're doing is coming to the trading charts under pressure because they have to make another financial decision. So they're sitting up there pondering, hey, you got 30 days to make a decision. Either you get the vaccine or we're going to kick you out the job that you've been working at for 10, 15, 20 years. So now this person is coming here to Forex under pressure, and when you say, hey, be patient and wait for this trade to play out. Hey, use a larger stop loss because, hey, it may take time for it to fluctuate. Hey, you want to do this and do that. Do you think they're going to listen? No. Why? Because they're under stress and panic. So we're going to talk about the stressors and the panickers and the things that come against you personally that can affect your mentality when you come to the charts. Because when you come to the chart, you have to come with a completely cleaned out mind. It didn't matter what happened yesterday. It didn't matter what happened the day before. It didn't matter what happened last week. I don't care if you lost 5 trades in a row. When you come to the markets, they don't care. You better come with a clean slate every single time. So the markets are already going to drive you nuts enough. But then when you add in the fact that you got all this personal junk going on, that is going to make it 5 times worse. Okay, so let's go through the personal issues that most traders go through and why that's affecting your trading. Number one, let's talk about ourselves. All right, one of the things that a lot of you guys, and this is going to seem off course, but it's 100% on course because I'm gonna fix your relationship while I'm fixing your trading. Yeah, I should be charging for this stuff. As a therapist, I should be charging for this. Some of you guys, you're having a personal struggle with yourself because you have not, and just hear me good, don't turn me off, because a lot of people talk about anything but me. No, I'm going to talk about you. Some of you guys you're dealing with in your personal relationships, they're constantly having issues, arguments, fallouts, and basically divorces or separation all the time. Why? Because of one key verse, and I'm not trying to be a pastor because I ain't no pastor. I'll leave that to the preachers, but I do believe that when the Bible says certain things, it meant what it said. Here's one of them. The Bible says, love your neighbor. Everybody, I know you heard this before. And you say, what does this got to do with Forex? Hang tight and I'll show you. The Bible says, love your neighbor. How? As you love yourself. That was when I fully began to grasp what was actually said. Everybody says, yeah, you're supposed to love your neighbor. Yeah, but finish it out. How do you love your neighbor? As you love yourself. And therein, when I started doing relationship counseling and divorce counseling and all these other things in my secondary industry, that's where I found the problem, not only in that secondary industry, but also in the Forex industry. Everybody wants to learn about market psychology, Forex psychology. But they're looking at it from the standpoint of what the bankers think. The problem is that I can tell you week after week after week what the bankers are doing, but you won't absorb the information. You will reject it because you have a fixation in your mind of what you think things should be. And why are you not flexible in your thinking? Because many of you guys are already struggling in your own thinking concerning yourself. So any new information introduced that doesn't fit the picture in your head, or the structure, let's talk about trading structure. If the process or the information that is presented to you doesn't fit into the structure you have in your crooked mind, then you reject it. Why? Because you've already been rejecting yourself. Here's how that plays out. Now you don't say nothing to nobody. Oh, this is going to get deep, Jesus. This going to get deep. They ain't going to, Lord, don't have me say it because they ain't going to like Uncle P. They ain't going to tune into my stuff no more if I say it. They ain't gonna turn me off. All right, you want me to say it? All right, here I'll say it then. Here it is. You and that little computer, It's kind of like having a porn session. See, why do I say that? Because no matter what you blabbed out in the public, it's just you and that computer in the midnight hour trading together. See, ain't nobody around. Most of you guys don't have trading partners to call off of and say, hey man, I'm drawing my support and resistance right here. Hey man, I'm about to look at this. What you think about it? No, it's just you and that little computer or that cell phone in the midnight hour, in the dark. Just y'all two. Am I right about it? Now, when that trade goes against you, come on now, you ain't gonna want to hear it, but the truth will set you free. What do you tell yourself when you lose a trade? Oh, this is gonna get good. This is gonna get good. I'm telling you, I'm fixing your relationships while I'm fixing your trading. How many times? See, and you ain't gotta you respond or not respond. Just if you respond, just say, you know what? Yeah, I know a friend like that. We ain't gotta talk about ourselves. We can, sidestep it. It's cool. But here's the truth: a lot of retail traders are rejecting themselves. They're talking negative to themselves. I'm so stupid. I can't do nothing right. Dang, I lost another trade. What's wrong with me? Hold on. Whoa. When did this trading setup become about you? I'll give you an example. And what happens is it comes out in anger. It comes out in depression. Some of you guys, God knows you don't want to talk about it. I know you, if you want to tune me out, I get it. But ain't nobody going to tell you the truth like I will. How many of you guys are actually dealing with depression right now? And you is already under pressure. Watch this. Watch the words that I say. You were already under pressure. But then when you started trading and things didn't work out according to your strategic plan, now you're dealing with pressure. And we can add the word D, put it up next to it. If you're taking notes like you should be, next to the word D, call it deep pressure. And so because you're under deep pressure, they use the terminology in the world called depression. In other words, you're being pressed down. And so now that you are already not thinking that healthy about yourself because of all your personal struggles, identity struggles. Come on now, you don't want me talking about it, but it's the truth. You still have not discovered yourself. That's the reason why you keep entering into relationships, talk about, well, they're not making me happy. That wasn't their freaking job to make you happy. You should have been happy when you came to the relationship. That's why you're hard to live with. Come on now, this is the truth. And then you bring your hot tail, depressed self into the Forex arena who cares nothing about your emotional state. And now when you take a loss, you losing your freaking mind. You throwing the computer across the room. You saying, oh, they're this and that. And if you ain't turning on yourself, you trying to find somebody else to turn on. And when I say turn on, I don't mean in a sexy way. I mean you trying to get mad at somebody else. You're trying to find somebody else to blame because you're tired of blaming yourself. In other words, you're having an internal battle that you don't want to deal with. And you don't want nobody to know. Oh, I told you. I shouldn't be doing this video. They ain't going to like Uncle P. They gonna, Lord, you gonna have them unsubscribe. I'm trying to build my subscribers, and you telling me stuff they ain't gonna stop subscribing too. Huh? Because this is the truth. And when you sit down with them charts, they can care less about you and your trade. And they will take your money. The whole job of the market is just to suck the money out of your pocket. And meanwhile, while you're dealing with the market trying to suck the money out your pocket, then on top of that, you already have life sucking its juices out of you. So there's the old term, dead man walking. Well, let's just call it what it is. It's a dead woman or dead man walking. You're still walking around, but you don't feel good about yourself. And you didn't feel good before you came to charts, and your charts is just making it worse because you're completely unfocused because you're struggling on the inside. And everybody keeps saying, oh, just do another strategy. That strategy is not going to fix the depression you're dealing with. And until you fix the way you think and have a positive attitude and expect to be successful, every little hit that you take on a trade is going to depress you some more. Oh, this is good. This is good. And if you don't want to acknowledge the truth, all you have to do is tell the truth to yourself and think about it. When you lose a trade, what do you actually say? Do you just say, hey, maybe I need to check my technical analysis, maybe this and that? For an example, last week, and it's all over the news now. Now, I broke this as fast as I could to my group, but sometimes we don't get the information quick because we're not insiders. Are you hearing me? We're not insiders, so we don't get the news as quickly as possible. But now it's all over the news about what China and what they did with they knew that this company was underwater. They knew it. And they're not the only company. That's just what they call that? Icebreaker. There are going to be tons of real estate companies. That's why, what investor was that? Last year, he started betting against the real estate market. Last year, he knew in advance as a stock trader that this is just the tip of the iceberg about the Evergrande in China, one of the largest holders in real estate. And then they turned around and lied saying, yeah, we're going to make our payment, but then they didn't make their payment. So then they shook the market's draws off. And then the feds came out talking. But then what y'all don't know is that the feds is already preparing, and I can shoot you a video link later on if y'all remind me in my group. Remind me to send that link if you're in my group, and I'll send you the link where another person did research on the feds' data directly from their website showing proof that they are already preparing for the crash. Doing bond buying and all these other things. Banks are not lending like they were because they're storing up trillions of dollars with the feds, waiting for the market to collapse. And then they're going to come back and buy everything for pennies on the dollar. I will send you guys additional information. See, we don't get that information in a timely fashion. So when a trade goes against you, the normal trader, and this is how you know if you're dealing with something outside of just being a Forex trader. Because when that trade goes against you, and it wasn't even your fault, you're assuming that it should have been a technical analysis. I have been telling you guys for the longest, if the crap hits the fan, the market don't care nothing about structure. It didn't care less. Sorry about all this noise. Let me show y'all where I'm at. Y'all see that? See, I'm in San Francisco. Y'all see that? It's beautiful out here. It's cold. I got to get back to my warm area. It's cold, but it's beautiful over here in San Francisco. So anyway, I'm outside, y'all just chilling with me. Okay, so let's keep going. So when a trade goes against you, like it may have last week, okay, hold on, let me fix this. When a trade goes against you like it did last week, what did you actually tell yourself? Now, this is the part where you can be honest. Did you say, okay, let me go back to my charts and see if there was just a technical issue or technical analysis? Or if you do like I've been telling you guys, sometimes check for fundamentals because it had nothing to do with you and you can do all the technical analysis you want. It won't make a difference on the trade if the market is in a straight up panic over some news that came out. So I heard somebody talk about, well, see what it was, you have your level 1, your level 2, your level 3s, and see, it's going to the third level. And this, okay, that explains why the Dow, the S&P 500, Bitcoin dropped like crazy, and the whole market just shook up. See, that's a whole different category, okay? They're not looking at the picture for what it is. Because when the market is really rocking and reeling, it's because of something else going on that they didn't anticipate. And if you read the news, the whole market got scared out of its draws last week because the typical trader, even in the regular markets, not Forex, but the stock market, bond buyers, and all these different things, they didn't see this coming. So now why am I saying that? Because when it happens to you, ask yourself an honest question. Do you really have the ability to actually disconnect your emotional state from the actual trade and just get back to the drawing board and say, you know what? Okay, now let me do a little research, see if it was something that I need to clean up on my trading style. And if so, I'll clean it up, right? Or was it something fundamental, meaning a news event just came out that wasn't on the schedule? Now, the Fed news we knew was on the schedule. But this Evergrande situation where China was in China, where they're the largest holder of Chinese real estate, that is going to have an echo effect across all the globe. And they were into electric cars too, and they're busted and broke. That's going to have a ripple effect. And they're just the beginning. China, that was just in China. Over here, we have the ability to kind of hide our junk. But after a while, we can't hide ours no more either. So before we start blaming China, we got to look at our dirty stuff. Because we print money just to keep it afloat, to make everybody believe we ain't got a problem. We got the same problem, but that's not the point. Point is, what did you tell yourself, or what do you tell yourself when you lose a trade? Are you positive that, hey, this is just a bump in the road, let me get back on my horse and let me go ahead and do something, let me try, am I documenting in my journal to track how many trades I've been winning using this strategy and this and this and this, right? Okay, but if this suddenly happens and I took a hit, it's not a big deal because I know it wasn't me. And you move on to the next trade. You know what, a lot of traders, they call themselves stupid. A lot of traders, you're actually depressed right now as we speak. And the markets have just pushed you further down. Remember what I said about depression, pressure, and then you add a D, which means you're being pushed down further. And because you had put your dreams, hopes, and all your passions into the market, when something like this that had nothing to do with your trading style happens, you get what? Depressed. In other words, your emotional states get pressed down even further. And that's because you didn't come to the market with a healthy perspective about yourself in the first place. That's why when you lose trades, you start talking to yourself negatively. That's not what the average professional trader does. They jump right back to fundamentals or technicals, reevaluate, and get back on the horse. But not you. Somehow you could keep putting the word I in there. What's wrong with me? I don't know why does the broker keep tacking my account? See, you start going into this depressive conversation as opposed to just being a business professional in this arena. And where is that coming from? Because you was already dealing with some stuff that you just didn't want to tell nobody about. Oh God, this is the truth, and the truth will set you free. You bring your junk to the charts because you're not trading with a clear mind in the first place. Let's go to part number 2. Now we've talked a little bit about, I can go all day long about personal issues that causes a person, a average retail Forex trader or binary options, whichever your flavor is while you're here, and the thousands who will be watching, whatever your flavor is that brought you here. The truth of the matter is that now that we've kind of touched on it, I ain't even really hit deep on it, but I just touched a little bit to make you think. And how let's reevaluate again. How you talk to yourself when you lose a trade is the best indicator. Y'all want to talk about indicators all the time. It's the best strategy and indicator, okay, to figure out whether you have a positive, healthy mental attitude before you even started trading. Because the average professional trader never says anything personal about themselves. It's all about business. But it's all personal. And that's a big mistake in this market. Because you're trading in a market that is completely without emotions, and you bringing all your emotional state, your brokenness, to the charts. Well, see, I need money. I need this. I don't care. So? That's what the market is telling you. So? Well, see, I'm going through something. And we going through something too. It's called your pocket. That's some good stuff. See, that's the way the market thinks. They're just here to take your money. Your job is to take their money. It's a zero-sum game. It's not about emotions, but you're an emotional person. And until you get a control of your emotions on a personal level, you shouldn't be in the markets. I'm just being honest. Y'all seen that? Oh, God, trying to have me spit out my mouth because of that one. Oh, God, that's so funny. Okay, let me get back on. All right, let me gather myself together and get back regular. Okay, now, we talked about you personally. Okay. Somebody said, I'll low-key hate your laugh. Oh, do you know when I was in high school, I was one of the most popular people in school because of my laugh, and I wasn't trying. It's just God gave me this laugh. But anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me try to get focused. Let me get back focused. All right, here we go. Now we kind of touched on you personally. Let's go deeper into you. For some of you guys, the reason why you're dealing with so much weight and mental stress before you even come to the charts, and then you lose a trade, that just adds to it, right? Okay, you don't have the ability to detach. We've clarified that. From just business is business, this is, hey, somebody take your money or you're going to take somebody else's money. This is a Robin Hood game. It really is just that simple. You're going to rob the rich and give to your poor self, or the rich is going to keep stealing from you. That's the market. There is no other way around it. It's just literally that simple. So stop making it personal. But you come in crying. They just take your money and they just leave. You take their money, they just try for another go round. But when your money get taken in the game, you start crying. Foul, foul, foul. Why it keep happening to me? Why? I'm so stupid. I'm and you're depressed. Now, where's that coming from? Now, let's get into number 2. This is very important. Some of you guys are where you are mentally, and you're trying to fight against it. That's why you're trying to find your footing into something you can be successful in, because you don't feel a successful person now. Well, where did that come from? It could be from different areas. Okay, this is deep. This is deep. Some of you guys, write this down under other people. Okay, so the first category we talked about is just you. The second category has to do with other people around you, or who used to have be around you, such as your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your significant other. Okay, and I say significant other, that could be your ex-wife, your ex-husband, your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. It could be whatever. And these people left a negative footprint in your life that you were still struggling with. Oh God, you better hear me good on this one. And because of the negative footprint that they left on you, you already are still struggling with your identity. Who am I really? Because they beat you down so bad in your head. You said that you don't care what they say, but that was a lie. You and I both know it. And their words destroyed you on the inside. And so now you already are struggling with who am I? And then when you lose a trade, now that's why you're tapping back into who am I? And you don't like the picture you see. See, it was not about the trade at all. It was about the identity that you're identifying yourself with a trade. Again, what is trading? It is steal from other people. When you win a trade, somebody just lost money. When you lose money, somebody just made you off with your money. That's the game. And if you don't like it, you don't need to be trading. I'm being honest with you. Stop trading now. If you can't handle that truth, then you don't need to be set free through that market. Because that's exactly what it is. If I win a trade, I just took somebody's money. That's it. And if I lose a trade, somebody just took my money. That's the game. Now, what part of that has to do with me personally? What part of that where it says, well, I shouldn't take this money because it belonged to Uncle P? They don't give a crap what my name is. If I make a move and it doesn't work out, somebody on the other end made off with my money, and my job is to go back and get my money plus theirs. That's simple. But it's hard for you to do that if you grew up with an abusive, alcoholic parent. It's hard for you to do that if you was in an abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive relationship. It's hard for you to do that if you grew up with a teacher who called you stupid in class. It's hard for you to do that. And I can go down the line. If you're just coming out of a relationship breakup and a divorce, and now you're trying to find your mental footing, your financial footing, and your physical footing sometimes. So if your world is in chaos, it is chaos in your head. I want just to make sure I'm not losing people. I know we got a few people in, thousands watching today, but for the few people, just entertain me. Type a number 5 in the box if you understand what I'm saying about this sort section. I just want to make sure y'all get in. I'm sorry for the background noise. Like I said, I'm out here visiting Frisco, San Francisco area, right over here by the water, by Pier 39 or something. I got this hotel room looking at the water. So I'm sorry about the background noise. But y'all, if you care about yourself, background noise won't bother you. If it does, then you need not be listening. Because again, if something that simple is going to bother you, then okay, I can't help you. And now I'm hearing I see this helicopter coming across. I'm waiting for that to pass. And you know people, and this whole conversation may not fit just you, Or it may not have nothing to do with you, and you just say, man, that's good information. Pass it along to the people you know need it. Pass it along. Maybe this is not for you, but you just say, hey, that's some great information. Pass it to the people you know need it, because this is what they're dealing with. And I don't care. I'm talking to traders, but this affects entrepreneurs across the board. Whether you're trying to open a restaurant, whether you're trying to, start your own business or whatever type it is. No, go on. Why is you flying back and forth when I'm doing my video? Y'all see this? Y'all see them? Right there? San Francisco is a busy spot, boy. Y'all busy over here. Y'all got it going on, though. It's nice. All right, so let me try to finish up. Hopefully this video can stand up and won't fall. All right, so again, some of your mental beatdown, and let's just call it what it is, okay? I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't like sugarcoating nothing. I'm going to call it what it is. A lot of your mental beatdown didn't originate with you. It was a result of something that happened to you and from other crazy people. And here's where the damage came in. It wasn't just what they said. Watch, oh, this is going to get good. It wasn't what they said. It was what you believed about what they said. I'm going to say it again. It had really nothing to do with what they said, because they were crazy. But because of the value you placed on that relationship, because that was your mama, that was your daddy, that was your grandmama, that was your lover, that was your wife, that was your husband, that was your boyfriend, that was your girlfriend. Because of the role of importance they played in your life, when they said what they said to you, it created mental damage concerning how you view yourself. And now you're taking that damage mentality into the charts. And when a trade doesn't work out, it may not have even hit your stop loss. I can't tell you how many times we have to adjust our stop loss because the market start doing something crazy. But that's just normal for us. We adjust it, wait for the market to calm back down, and then we get the money. We run off with the bag. Last week we had in the signals group 5 and 1. Okay? Usually we put out way more signals than that, but the market was just what it was. It was raggedy. So we had to take some trades where the money was at, where there was some pips presented itself. Yes, we had to quite often adjust the trades and say, hey, you guys, we're going to readjust this and do that. Okay, that's just normal. We know how to handle it. But to the average person, they couldn't handle it. Because change to them is what they're trying to avoid, because their life got changed so often because of what the people did to them. And they had to constantly adjust and do this adjustment. And so they're struggling with doing adjustments. They just want, give me this only. Okay, then go ahead and lose your money. We're going to adjust ours because we know, okay, it should hit up in this area and it's just going to retest this area. Originally, here's what structure was. But since this market is tripping, now it's looking for a new footing. And so therefore we just adjust it accordingly. And then when it comes right back into the normal structure, we run off with the money. That's why we did what we did last week. And you can check out the signals report that I sent out earlier. That's why you see a lot of closed early in profits. It's like in a boxing ring. Well, guess what? You can stand there and say, okay, Mike Tyson's arm reach is only supposed to be XYZ feet. So I'm going to put my face right here and not move. But all of a sudden, he's bobbing and weaving and steps in and smack you upside your head. Now, what did you get me for? See this market, Mike Tyson is such a mean guy. No, you're in a boxing ring, fool. Bob and weave, bob and weave. But you can't do that because your mind is in a bad circumstance already. So bobbing and weaving feels like defeat to you before you even did it. I hope y'all getting what I'm saying. A professional can bob and weave and just say, okay, well, if it does move this, and I know it's going to have to pull back into structure. It's just overreacting. I call it knee-jerk reactions in the market. So when news events come out, the market would do what's called a knee-jerk reaction, and all of a sudden it will spike out of control and just do some funny stuff. It may last for a day or two, but then after a while, when the market has the chance to absorb all the news and stuff, it then gets its balance, and then it turns back around and goes back into structure. You don't know that. And the same idea that I just explained to you about trading is the same idea you should be doing in your own personal life. Getting your mind back into structure. Well, here's the problem. Some of you guys, you are great at marking up support and resistance, trend lines, and structure. But when it comes to your personal life, you don't know where the footing is. You don't know where the demand zone and the supply zone is. See, you can mark that on the charts and say, okay, here's where the market, if it hits this area, like GBP USD did last week, and I called it in class, live in class, I told y'all. So for those who made money off of GU, you're welcome, because you brought your behind the class, and I called it in class, and I said, pay attention to this one, because it's coming back into the what? Demand zone. And I marked it up live in class. And so those who made that 100 pips last week, good for you. See, we can mark up them charts, but if I told you where's the demand zone and the supply zone in your own personal life, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You used to know how you felt good, what would make you feel good about yourself. You used to really know exactly what would make you happy. But right now, if I was to ask you that question, you don't know. Your world is upended, not outside of you, but on the inside of you, in your head. Because when that person broke your heart, when that person said XYZ to you, oh, see, there you go, DeLeon, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. See, I ain't making this up. See, there you go. He said he made 78 pips off of it. People be thinking I'm lying and making stuff up. Oh, I don't believe him. Then don't just tune off my channel. Go somewhere else with your negative self. Because see, you part of the problem. You one of the people I'm talking about now. All you see is negativity because negativity has presented itself in your life so often until you can't see anything positive. That's why you're always looking for either you're blaming yourself or you're looking for somebody else to blame because you're angry with life. So it ain't about just the charts. You're trying to find somebody to let off on. You're imbalanced. And that's what people do. People was wondering, why did you turn your comments off? Because I ain't got time for no foolishness. I'm here to give free information. Ain't nobody paying me for this. My channel ain't monetized. I'm here to do this free. And if all you gonna do is come up in here with your foolishness, I ain't got time for it. So yeah, for a long time, I turn them comments off. Why take on the headache and reputational damage? See, Derek said it too. He said he ate good off of G. You see, these are students who's in my class. I ain't gotta make nothing up. What's wrong with y'all? You're the person I'm talking to. You went through so much, and I have pity for you, but at the same time, don't go off on me because I ain't that pity. I ain't got that much pity for you to the point where you trying to make a fool out of me. I went through too much, baby, to let you just vent off on me. Go do that on somebody else's channel. So yeah, I turned them comments off. I started turning them back on, and I check people. Don't come on my channel acting a fool because I'm going to check you, and I'm going to ban you forever. You ain't never going to see my channel again. I ain't got time for foolishness. See, when you identify who you are, you realize what you ain't willing to put up with no more. Oh, this is some good information. Because see, some of y'all in your personal life, you putting up with so much foolishness because you don't know who you are. So you're allowing people to define who you are. And when they start criticizing you, talking, calling you dumb and everything else, you're believing what they're saying because you don't have a personal belief about yourself. And that's where the word, quote unquote, write this down. If you come in here and you ain't writing nothing down, why are you here? Hi, Birdie. Hi, Birdie. Now, look, even the bird is here trying to listen. Ain't that cute? Look, look, look. Y'all see that? Hold on, where that bird at? Where you at, bro? You see that bird? He said, hold on, hold on. I think he give him some good information. This will help me and my bird clan. I got the bird clan coming out. All right, so let me finish this up so I can get on with my day because I'm out of here visiting for a reason. But I want to help y'all. So let me finish this. Because of what your mama said about you, because of what your daddy said about you, because of what your significant others who you used to be with, and here's where it gets bad. Because you really possibly have loved that person and then they turned around and didn't love you back the way you thought they should. And that creates emotional damage. So now when you take that emotionally damaged mind into the business arena, it's hard for you to focus on business because now you're making it a personal issue versus business is just business. Because you're struggling with an identity crisis. And that's where we get the word, write this down, self-esteem issues. Now the word self-esteem, write this down. The word self-esteem means to just, it's that simple. Reverse the words and you'll get the concept. It simply means to esteem oneself. In other words, it means to believe in oneself no matter what somebody else said. I don't care what mama said. I don't care what daddy said. They don't know me. They birthed me, but they don't know me. They don't know the gift God put in me. They just know that they birthed me here and brought me here. But because of what they went through, they're still looking at life through a damaged lens. And so therefore they're speaking damage into my life. But I don't have to believe it. That person who left the relationship, they don't know my gift and calling. They don't know what I'm good at. And possibly they couldn't handle me because of how good I am. Now, if you're a rude, angry person, don't say, oh, I'm gifted. No, you ain't gifted, you a fool. And that's why people don't be around you. Because you're dealing with self-esteem issues because you don't even like yourself. That's why you're always angry. Because you got to present a hard front because you're feeling soft on the inside. You don't know where your demand zone and your supply zones are. You don't know where your support and resistance is. You don't have market structure for your own personal life. So miss me with that one. But if you know you're a kind-hearted person, this and that, sometimes people will come in who can't handle your kindness. They can't handle who you are because you've identified your gift and who you are. So you have not arrogance, but confidence in yourself. But then they feel uncomfortable because they don't have it. And they're still dealing with anger issues. And they spit that poison out on you. And the problem is, that's fine what you said, but it didn't become a problem until I believed you. The moment you said your negativity, that's one thing. I can't stop you because we're living in a country of free speech. But the moment I began to believe what you said, that's when it became a problem for me. And that's where it's a lot for you guys. Some of you guys, you ended up believing them. And now to this day, you're still struggling with self-identity issues. So now when you come to the market, you already coming with a shaky mentality. So any little thing that affects that, you lose your freaking mind. Because you thought that, hey, here's the one place where I can draw up some areas, and I know for a fact that this is supposed to happen at these areas. And when it doesn't, you don't have the capacity of mind to be able to adjust quickly enough to what's going on and take it in stride and keep it moving. Because you're still trying to find footing over here with who you are. Do y'all see what I'm saying? So you're trying to go to an area where you think you can finally take some control over things by, I marked this up, so you're supposed to act this way. And when the market doesn't, it brings it right back to the painful area over here where you have no structure and control over here either. Type of 50 in the box if y'all hear what I'm saying and you understand what I just said. I want to make sure y'all with me. I want to make sure y'all with me and understanding what I'm saying. People who are hurt are looking for something solid to put their foot on. That's why the Bible, when it was talking about don't build your house on sand, that's what it was talking about. Because if you're building it on sand, sand shifts from time to time. And many people don't know how to adjust to shifting sand. So you come in and you think just because you implemented this strategy and it's supposed to work. Now, you've been told up front, hey, the strategy may have a 80% win rate. It may have a 90% win rate. It may have a 70% win rate. You was, oh yeah. Okay, but that let's use the 70% win rate. 70% win rate, you will be successful. But the problem is when 30% hit you, you still trying to, you know logically that I should be okay with 30%. A 30% loss rate, just like I was happy with a 70% win rate, because 70 plus 30 equals 100. Or as we say in the hood, a hondo. You were comfortable with that. But when that 30% hit that you knew in advance was going to come, why are you losing your freaking mind? Because now it reflects back on you personally about you not having control over here. And then this is out of control over here. So you've still going right back into your head saying, I feel out of control. Because these people hurt me. Now the market is hurting me. And so you become angry. You become depressed and everything else. And this doesn't require any emotional state. But it's all emotions to you now. Why is that? Because of how you were thinking about yourself before you came to the game. So when people looking for Forex or for market psychology, they're looking for the wrong information. Because what you're looking for is the market's psychology. That has to do with supply and demand zones, support and resistance, structure, trend lines, and all the blah, 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 blah. And you trying to get into the mind of the banks and institutions. But the problem is they're getting into your mind because they say, I know that the average retail trader is going to use a short stop loss because they're scared. They're going to trade on short time frames because they're wanting quick money to try to change their life overnight. And they don't trade with Miss Jenny, who can show you how to trade on a scalping level as a professional. But a lot of y'all don't want to come to class. You don't want to be tutored. And so you're playing right in their arena, and they know that most retail traders don't have a solid mentality about themselves. And they know that you're going to blow your account and refill it over and over and over again. So when we talk about market psychology, I have to, if I'm talking to banks and institutions, it's a whole different conversation than if I'm talking to the average retail trader. Because the banks and institutions, everything I'm talking about now, that's already in there. They know this. But the average retail trader ain't getting the picture. And so when they trade, they're trading against your trade because they know how you gonna trade, because they know your real feelings. You're a fearful trader who's afraid to use an excessive size stop loss. What's excessive? Anything over 10, 15, or 20 pips is excessive to you. So they take advantage of you. Again, to them, it's Robin Hood. Rob whoever you can and put the money in your pocket. That's the name of trading. When you win a trade, you celebrate it, right? Well, the truth is, you just took money out of somebody else's pocket. And their job is to come back, take the next trade, and take the money back out of your pocket. That's all it is. It's a back and forth game. But you made it personal. You crying. You throwing your computer across the room. Why are you so emotional? Because you put your hopes and dreams thinking that, well, for here, over here, I can finally have some stability. But the truth of the matter is, the market is not a stable place. Now, that's why you have to average how many wins you're going to get out of 100. Some of you guys, you took 2 trades and you're already done. So when you say a 70% win rate, always remember this. When you say 70% win rate, that means 70 out of what? 100. Somebody type 100 in the box. I want to make sure you're getting this. When you say 70% win rate, that means that's 100. So out of 100 trades you've taken, you've won 70% of them. Some of you guys, oh my God, you just freaking crazy. 2 losses and you done. Well, how are you ever going to figure out what is a 70 or 80% win rate if you ain't took 100 trades doing the same methodology? You keep switching that up too. Why? You can't stabilize your mind. And the charts are a reflection of you. You have instability over here, and that's why you never use a stable trading system. You're always trying to find an alternative. You're always trying to do this and that. If you lose one trade, you're starting all over again with a new strategy. You don't need all that. Have you taken 100 trades with the one you got? No, because you're unstable. That's why, what's the point of talking to people about what's your average win rate? If I told you, would you hang there long enough to actually follow through to see that it actually was true? After the first 5 trades, you think you've got an assessment on that's not a win rate, fool. Not you personally. Let me stop using that word, but I'm just saying, come on now. A 80% win rate means you took 100 trades, 80 of them won, and 20 of them lost. So when the 20 comes, why are you having a fallout? Why are you having a spasm? Because it's personal to you. And that's because you are already dealing with personal issues. Now, let me get to this last one, and I'm gone. Because I'm out here visiting the Bay Area, San Francisco, beautiful Bay Area over here. Like I said, y'all see that? See, right over here by the water. By Pier 39 or whatever this pier is. It's beautiful over here in San Francisco. But I'm visiting. I got to get back home because I got class to teach to you guys on Tuesday. So let me finish this 3rd one. So we talked about what you have a struggle with on a personal level. And if you tuned in late, listen to it from the beginning when I post up the recording, because you don't want to miss any part of this. So in the first part, I talked about personal psychological damage. Secondly, I talked about the input of psychological damage done by other people who are in your life or are still in your life that you're choosing to believe. Don't ever forget, that's the key. I don't care what they said. It's what did you believe? Because a lot of them, they're coming from psychological damage themselves, and then they raised you with their damaged minds. So what do you think? You think they had, some of them, they were abusive because they've been abused. So you can't believe nothing they said, but you do because you love them. And so you took their word as the gospel truth versus believing that you really are a creation from God. You're gifted. You don't believe that because you believed in them. And what they said, value, the value of what their words were in your life is what you're struggling with. Not realizing they was crazy too. Have you ever done a historical research on the significant other or the parent who did verbal or physical abuse to you? Do a research background on what happened to them. And you'll begin to say, oh my God, they were freaking crazy. So in essence, they were just trying to do the best they can, but that wasn't good because it damaged you with the damage they already had, but you believed them. And now, based on what I'm sharing with you today, you can go back and say, you're right, Uncle P, I am finally free. I did a research on them, and they were molested when they was growing up. They were abused when they were growing up. So they're already starting off with a bad mentality. Then they birthed you, or they had input in your life, and it could be a significant other. It could be a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. It could be mama, daddy, grandma, whoever raised you, whatever. We'll call them your influencers. Your influencers had a bad background. And so all they could do is just birth bad backgrounds in other people's lives. And that's not the problem. The problem is, did you believe them? And if you believe them, that's why you're struggling with an identity. And when the markets start acting irrational, it makes it personal to you because this is the problem. You're still dealing with instability within yourself. And then when the markets start acting with instability, you have nothing to stand on to say, I have a solid life. And now the market was supposed to be your new boo. That was supposed to be stable. But the market is never stable. And you knew that going in, but that's not the idea you have in your head. Because you're trying to fix this over here through the market, and the market ain't here for that. This is good. This is good. This is good. And let me leave you with one more area. Because you don't feel that hot about you, and then you got attacked sometimes by, now this don't apply for everybody, but pass this on to whoever you believe needs this information. Because everybody listening, this ain't them, but that's okay. Pass it to who you believe needs it. And tell them to subscribe to my channel so when I'm doing videos, they can see it for themselves next time. You ain't got to be their alert system. They'll get it on their own. Now let me finish with this last one so I can enjoy my day. Now, because of how you personally feel about you, this is, oh God, this is going to hit them good. No, Lord, I don't want to say it. Oh, I'm hitting them with left and rights, boy. But why bother with this one? Come on, man. Just give them a break. Let's just stop. No, okay, I'll do what you say. Here we go. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. Here we go. Let's deal with this last one. Because of how you personally felt about yourself based off of the people who had that bad information input into your life, now you end up surrounding yourself, hear me good, you keep people around you who are toxic to the level of toxicity that you believe you deserve. Wow. That's hot. I'm going to say it again. You keep people surrounded around you, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, or family, whatever. You keep toxic people around you on a regular basis based off of what level you believe you deserve. And so the people you have currently talking into your head called friends, or my cousin, my road dog, whatever you want to call them, your boyfriend, your boo, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. That's why you keep picking bad people in relationships, because of your toxicity within you. Because you're not balanced, you keep picking balanced people to hang around with you. And you tolerate it. Because you're imbalanced in the first place. I told you guys, I don't tolerate no foolishness. Period. I don't care whether you friends, family, or foe. I ain't putting up with your foolishness. Why? Because back in the day, I didn't know no better. And I tolerated a ton of foolishness. That's why I'm very strict on what I allow, who I allow around me, what I allow to be said to me or about me. I don't play no more. Now, it's not to say that I'm beyond input, because even in my class, people be saying, hey, what did you think about this and that? And I'll be like, man, that's a good idea. See, that's different, because that's just information. But I'm not going to allow somebody to try to tear me down. I'm not going to allow toxic people in my life who want to just drink and smoke and do this and do that and just wreck their lives and include me in it. Not going to happen. So I don't keep those kind of people around me. Now, it doesn't mean I don't have friends like that, but I don't keep them close to me, because I'm trying to get somewhere. Because I know who I am now. I'm not trying to find my identity. I know who I am. And I'm very good at what I do. And I won't allow anybody to toxify my life for the sake of just having them around me. No, we can still talk. I can text you. We can FaceTime or whatever you want to do. But I don't need to have you in my day-to-day life. So it doesn't mean that I discount people or dismiss them. No, I just know what place you can, what role and how close you need to be in my life. Why did I make that decision? Because I believe in me. I believe in me. So you can say what you want. I don't speak, oh yeah, he this and that. Okay, guess what, partner? I didn't ask you to identify me. See, I don't need outside stimuli to make me feel good. I feel good about myself because I know I'm a child of God and I know what he gifted me to do. Now, again, that is not without room for improvement. That's one thing. But if you're just trying to come up in here and talk crazy, man, whatever, bye, boo. Because you're trying to toxify my life because you toxic. And I ain't putting up with it. Oh, see, he don't like nobody to comment because he trying to scam people. Well, that's what you think. Do what you do, boo. Bye. No, because I didn't tolerate your foolishness. Like everybody else does. You spit your poison and your negativity because you don't feel good about you. Everybody ain't gonna tolerate that, bro. And I'm one of them. I ain't putting up with your stupidity. And I ain't keeping friends and family and foolishness around me. I don't keep toxic people around me. Because only two outcomes are going to come, and don't you ever forget this. Two outcomes are going to come based on the people you keep around you. Either you're going to influence them or they're going to influence you. Write it down. God, I need my own TV show. I can't wait to get my own TV show. You see what my talk is? I can't wait to get my TV show. Because I know that's what I deserve. Because I got a lot to say, and I speak the truth. And this truth is valuable to set people free. I know I'm bringing value to somebody's life. Somebody needed this because you was wondering what was going on. If you have a 80% win rate, you are automatically saying you're okay with losing 20% of your trades. Why are you always having a spasm talking down to yourself when you lose a trade? Why is this so personal? See, when you talk in percentages, it's not impersonal. But when you talk about trading, it's a personal thing. Why is that? Why is that? Well, I'm telling you, this is where the problem is. How do I personally know all this? Glad you asked. I did a video not too long ago, and I told you guys when I was up in San Diego, visiting down there, and I told you guys there was a time where I was 1 week away from homelessness. I was a multi-millionaire living on top of my world, doing speaking engagements, been on television, been on the radio, did all those different things, then changed lives, bought multiple houses, not just for myself, but for other families. I was balling out of control. And then life hit me out of the blue. And I have what I call, like they call it in the Bible, a Job experience. And I got one more minute, and I might go a few minutes over, but let me say this and I'm done. And I went through a Job experience. I was on top of the world, living my what they call best life. And then everything I knew was gone. Everything. And I still have my youngest daughter living with me. And it was talking about, man, that 7,000 square foot house that I built from scratch. From my mind, from the blueprints, was They were trying to take that too. And I was 1 week away from homelessness. Didn't even have a car no more when I used to buy cars every year. My whole world was taken from me. Everything I knew. And it created instability. Not in my outward world only, but within me. And I lost confidence. And I thought God hated me. I know what I'm talking about. And then I come to the market. And the market beat the hell out of me. For years. And again, I'm sorry about this noise. I'm right here in the bay. This helicopter going past. Hold on. So when I was going through my Job experience, I didn't know up from down, left from right. I didn't know who to trust. And so I was trying to cling on to something. So I was allowing people who was toxic to be around me for a little while. Until the day God woke me up and said, life ain't over with you yet. It took God to actually intervene, to let me know I don't hate you. And life ain't over for you. You still got something left. Now let's get up and get on back on the horse. And when I started slowly building my life back up, I slowly ended up building my confidence back up. Write this down. In order to build your life up, you have to build your confidence up. I can give you the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have the confidence of belief, you ain't gonna execute. And you will not be consistent. And so when I began to build my confidence back up in me, I didn't need other people's input. That was one of the best lessons I learned through that ordeal. Stop believing what people say about you, whether positive or negative, because it doesn't matter. They may say positive about you today and call you a buster tomorrow. So you can't depend on other people's opinion about you as a reference of your value. There's only two sources where you are supposed to get your value from, and that is from your maker, and that is from within you. Period. Anybody else who says they believe in you is a bonus. I'm sorry, my camera. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Un momento. Un momento. Un momento. Y'all see all these? I'm around these buildings. Okay. Now, look, y'all see the reflection of that thing? The buildings behind me? That's a cool backdrop, huh? Cool backdrop. All right, so anyway, let me finish up. Man, that's a cool backdrop. The buildings are actually right here in front of me, but y'all seeing it bounce off that's a cool backdrop. Anyway, let me finish up. When I realized I ain't got to kiss nobody's behind to make a friend, just so I can have somebody around me, just to have somebody in my life. When I realized I'm trying to help y'all. Because friends, certain family members, all these people just bailed out on me after years of me supporting people. And they cut. Left me for dry. Left me for dead. That was the best lesson ever. Because it taught me, don't put your personal value about yourself based off of what people say about you. And it brought me to the bottom line question. What do you believe about yourself? That's what all I had left. What do you believe about yourself? If you can build yourself up because I told some of you guys about before I even became that multimillionaire person, I was on welfare. Now, here's what I had to learn to believe. If you can build yourself up from welfare to where you were, isn't this just a replay? Or let me put it in trading terms so I don't lose people. Isn't it just retesting an area? Isn't it just retesting your support level? And my life was retesting my support area. I went from welfare to multimillionaire, and now I'm 1 week away from homelessness. That was retesting an area of support. And at that area of support, I had to make a decision. Do you still believe in you? When all hell breaks loose and you lose everything, do you have enough to get yourself back up again? I was retested. When all fails and all people walk out on you and nobody believes in you, do you still got enough in you when the retest comes to get back up again? And I had to really answer that question. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't have an immediate answer because I didn't think I had it. But God came along and said, I know you stopped believing that you had enough, but I know how I made you. I believe in you. Now get on back up and let's try something else. There's another way. There's another way. I ain't done with you yet. I built resilience. I built support into you. I know you gonna bounce back. I just gotta wait for you to believe that. I know what other people say about you, but I know what I said about you because I'm the one who made you. And I built you. So I know where your support lines are. And you're gonna bounce back from this. But this time when you bounce back, you're gonna be able to talk to other people to help them bounce back too. You ain't coming up by yourself, you're gonna come up with others. Your retest is gonna be a blessing to somebody else. Come on now, this is the truth. The truth will set you free. And I couldn't do it alone. I told some of my students, that lady that y'all see, she just retired, her TV show, Y'all Fix My Life on Oprah Winfrey Network, Y'all Fix My Life. She was one of the people. I haphazardly had met her. If it wasn't for the grace of God, I wouldn't have met that lady. To this day, she's one of the biggest influencers in my life, and she don't even know it. There was a program being offered to help 100 black men from the Michael Baisden radio show. And I was so broken, I called in. And I didn't even think I would be selected, but they chose me as one of the people, one of the 100 black men. And when she was trying to help me like she do people on the show, she is exactly like she is on the show. She's very straightforward and up in your face. And I didn't like her either, because I thought she was continuously trying to break me down like everybody else was trying to do. Not realizing she wasn't breaking me down, she was just restructuring me. She was helping me to redraw my support and resistance and my trend lines to find out where the new structure was. Because the old structure has gone away. Behold, all things became new. But I didn't know what new looked like because I was hurting so bad. And by the way, that's also the same time that my beautiful wife I'm married to today. That's where she found me. I didn't have support and resistance lines. I didn't have structure in my life. I didn't know what that was because it was all taken from me. And I was fragile. But looking back on those two women, so gone for any of you dudes out there who's chauvinist pigs, who talk about a woman shouldn't be a preacher, a woman shouldn't be this and that, you better shut your mouth. You might be missing your blessing. Because if it wasn't for those two women in my life, I wouldn't be in front of you now. Nancy loved me back to health. Iyala, she talked me back to health. And Iyala, no matter how much, and here's what I did to her. I still have the emails from her because she'll give us homework assignments and we had conversations, and I would tell her my woes about what I was going through, and she would say, I don't care. Here's what you're supposed to do. And I thought she was just mean as hell. But she wasn't mean. She was a coach. And she was getting me past my feelings so I can see the world for what it was and to be able to adjust and adapt accordingly. Just like you should be doing when you trade. It ain't personal. Stop whining. It's your perspective of the charts. You agreed that a 70 or 80% win rate was just fine. So stop whining when you get the 30 or 20% loss rate. It comes with the territory. That's what a coach does. It wakes your behind up and slaps you straight up so that you can stop getting in your feelings. That's love. And she loved me. But I didn't identify her love because it was harsh. She wasn't talking to me kind, like a mama would. She wasn't my mama. My mama died. My daddy died. Everything I knew, all of my support and resistance areas had to be redefined. And this is where some of you guys are. This is why when you lose a trade, you're losing your mind. Because this is the truth you needed to hear, and nobody wanted to say it on these channels. They all want to sell you something. They all want you to use a strategy, but then they tell you about market psychology and not realizing this is market psychology. How do you feel about yourself? Why do you keep making the loss so personal when it's just business? You don't know where your support and resistance lines are. And I get it. That's why I'm here to help you. So when I finally did get to the point where I was able to identify my new, watch this, because this is some of you guys, your whole life is in shambles and you just need to find a new structure, a new support and resistance. The old trend lines and the old support and resistance, the old supply and demand zones are gone. Accept it and move on and start drawing up your new ones for your personal life before you start worrying about drawing them up on the charts. And what's so funny, you quickly can do it on the charts, but you can't quickly do it in your own personal life because you're still trying to hang on to what you used to be able to do and what you used to have. It ain't there no more, boo. It's different. And yes, I'm a few minutes over my time, but that's okay. For those who's new, and we're going to have thousands watching this later, normally I try to keep it 1 hour, but it's okay. Today you need a little bit more. And you need to accept that things are not what they used to be. Just like on the charts, if it breaks through support and resistance, accept it and move on. Redraw your trend lines. Redraw your supply and demand zones. Look for another trade. You got to do that on the charts. Sorry about this noise. Hold on, what the heck? You got to go over it. You got to do it again. It's painful, but you ain't got a choice. You keep crying over what you used to have, or you can move on and find something different. It's time to move on and get a healthy perspective of you. And I was left alone. Just me and my thoughts. And it wasn't good. And so when I lose a trade, I lost my mind because I was tacking it on to all the other losses I had in my life. And it became personal. This is why I can speak on this subject while others can't, because I know where you are. And nobody want to talk about this because it's embarrassing. I'm so confident in who I am, I don't feel embarrassment. I feel liberation by telling you the truth so that you can follow me to your freedom. The journey of my trading was not easy. That's why I react when people start trying to call me a scam. Nigga, please. Lord, forgive me for saying that word, but please. You have no idea what I went through to get to where I am. My support lines was drawn so low until when it retested, I thought life was over. But God intervened, put me in connection with the right people I needed. Someone to love me back to health and somebody to talk to my head. And when I was able to rebalance myself, I had confidence again. And when I had confidence, one thing I learned, I love people, but I refuse to let toxic people around me ever again. And if one business don't work out, I have the ability to build another. If one trade don't work out, I have the ability to figure it out and take another trade and let it win. I don't break down so easy like I used to. Let me leave y'all with this thought, a couple of thoughts, and we're done. When a person breaks a bone, and how do I know? My little youngest daughter, boy, she was so rambunctious when she was little. She broke her arm, and she broke her leg. No, not at the house. No, no, I ain't say that. But she was just one of them kids who was always into something, right? So I remember she had broke her arm. But what they told me about the bone, now, I ain't a doctor, so if it ain't true, I'm just telling you what they told me. They say when that bone finally mends, it ends up being stronger than the one that wasn't broke. And I think that's what happened to me. I got broke. But then when God allowed me to heal, I got stronger than I ever was before the first time. Because see, what made me strong the first time is what people were saying about me. Oh, he thinks he's a great speaker. Oh, he needs, and I was accepting the applause of the people, thinking that that's what made me important. And God allowed, I can't blame God now, but when life came and blew all that away, I no longer had the applause of the people. I had to find a way to applaud myself. And now I applaud myself. Now, I ain't so arrogant to believe anything about myself, because I know what can happen. That life, just like the charts, can happen at any time. So I'm not so arrogant to believe that it's always going to be positive, positive, positive. I know better than that now. So I'm not arrogant. But I have enough sense to know where my support is now. It's been retested twice and created a double bottom. Come on now, this is good stuff. Y'all, market makers method looking for the W pattern is basically a double bottom. And I hit double bottom. So at least if I fall, I know where my support is. And what's more important, when Nancy met me, I was sitting at double bottom. She didn't meet me when I had money. She met me when I was at double bottom. So I know I'm good with her too. She's okay with me. She ain't in it for the money, because I didn't have none when I met her. She's in it just because she loves me. So I know what my support is. Now, how high can I go before I hit resistance is what I'm going to find out. But I'm going to keep on climbing higher and higher. And what I'm realizing, the more I'm able to tolerate out of resistance levels, what do they say in the charts? Resistance turn into what? Support. So as long as I have the ability to keep on breaking through to higher ground, yes, it was resistance, but I'm going to use it as a footing to keep on climbing higher. Thank you, Jesus. So you can learn a lot from the charts that used to break you down. My resistance is now my support, and I stand on what I went through. That's why I don't put up with foolishness. Because I know who I am, and I won't allow anybody to attempt to tear me down ever again. Period. And that's the proper thinking of a Forex trader. I hope you guys enjoyed this one.